Thanks, Tim, for the introduction. And I promised Tim to be very brief today. I'm not very well known for being brief, but I try my best. One key element for being brief here is the awesome introduction that we just had from Karen to photogrammetry and 6 degrees of freedom and where the difference is. So I'm head of VR AR at Exozet, and Exozet is an agency based in Berlin at Tempelhof Airport for digital transformation. We do a lot of digital things. Also, like, for example, the ZDF Mediathek is created by Exozet. I'm more responsible for the VR and AR projects. So you've seen this slide or a similar slide a couple of times today, and that's basically a volumetric studio. Here you see the one from Microsoft, and you see a dance being recorded. And the cool thing about a dance is you're used to dance performers just doing their thing, but not reacting to you as an audience. But when you are there in the virtual environment, you want the persons that are in the same space with you. You want them to react to you. And that's one of the key difficulties of volumetric video. In VR, and I show this quite a lot, I think it's important to consider the user, to not just give presence, which everyone is talking about, but also give a level of interactivity, give the people agency, meaning they have impact to what's happening around them, and be social, meaning having other human characters in the space. And that's really difficult to solve right now, because in the end, virtual reality is user-centric. And currently it's often solved like this.
Oh, no.
Can you lower the volume a little? Usually it's often solved by this. We're having very abstract visualizations, and we do that too, and it's really working well. But sometimes you have scenarios where, for example, UIP says you have to be in a more realistic environment, and then you can't really use characters like these because they just don't match UIP. Right now, this works pretty well in communication and in social VR, but it wouldn't work for some showcases you want to create. So you can do volumetric, and what you see here is a live communication between two characters, meaning two persons, and but you can already tell in this scenario, even though it's like it's just a demo, it's not a real conversation, and she isn't really looking the right way. She is kind of looking his direction because she can't see him. She doesn't know where he is. They just imitate it as if it was a real communication. But now this is live. It's even more difficult if you have pre-recorded an actor. If you're in a studio, you do the volumetric recording, how does the actor interact with the person? How does he even look at you and not just stare into the distance like a zombie, not addressing you as a person? And that's very important, and that's why we at Exozet created something we currently call dynamic head gaze or orientation. We might come up with a cooler name for marketing, but that's where we are, and I'm showing you today a tech demo. So this is not a full quality from the volumetric recording. It's more about the technology behind it that we add. And here you can see that this is a still frame from a volumetric recording, and with our technology, he can look at the user's perspective or the camera. You see, graphic is a little. The contrasts are very high here. Usually there's a person standing. You can't really see the person. But you see the camera moving around here, and he's always looking at where the camera is. And that's a cool thing. We record only once with the character speaking this direction, but then after the recording, change where he's looking without rotating the whole character. We're only rotating more lifelike how a character would react to you. And I'll show you another version of that. Here you see that. And this character is not recorded in the way that he's looking at where the camera is, but the looking at the camera is implemented afterwards by our algorithms. And we use a couple of different techniques that involve face tracking and machine learning. And similar to real face tracking, we transfer face tracking to a virtual character. So we basically take the recorded scene and do a face tracking algorithm with it. and after that a post-matching algorithm. And by doing the post-matching algorithm, we can find out where the person that was recorded is looking at, and by that deduct the bone structure, meaning like where's the neck in this human recording. And by knowing where the neck is, we then afterwards can twist the mesh according to, very similar to a real movement would be. And that's basically, in simple words, the technology we developed on top of this. We're cooperating with the Heinrich-Hertz-Institut here in Berlin to do those recordings. And like I said, that's not the final quality of recordings. That's only one piece of the puzzle of making it more interactive, because we also do other things like having the virtual character address you and say, come over, and then you go over, and in that way it feels a lot more interactive than just someone speaking at you like a TV host. We also do a lot of other things. So if you have volumetric recordings, if you already have a project, definitely talk to us. You can also check out over at in front of Berlinale Palast, there's an Audi pavilion, and there's a cool VR, interactive VR experience that we did. But most of all, if you want to check this out in real, like I showed you, where the character is actually reacting to your phone, come over to this corner back there, to the tables, and we will be there, and you can try a live demo right after this presentation, the break. So I hope I was brief enough. And by that, conclude my presentation. And thanks for your attention.